They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
Doug's Magic Wand. Here we go. Magic in 3, 2, 1.
I don't have it. Here we go.
That's all right. Dude, that was amazing. Guys, welcome to episode 67 of the Magic Guys. I'm Josh Norbido. That's Doug Conn. And we have a guest today, which we'll get to in a moment. But first, I want to hear about Doug's win. You had a big online poker tournament, and I'm seeing some wins go up.
I was crushing it yesterday. Like I could do no wrong. Thanks for mentioning my side hustles for the IRS to come find me. Yeah, I entered 6 events yesterday on Global Poker, which is actually an Australian company, but they only host North American players. If you're North American looking to play, I'm waiting for you on Global Poker. 6 tournaments, cashed in all of them, and then the biggest one, which I satellited into this $7,500 tournament, I got 4th place. So like $20 of expenses, I bankrolled over $700.
Dude, woo! And that's you. How much did you have to spend to enter? Like
so, $20. The Global's running a micro series right now where the entry fees are small. So, and then they have bigger prize pools. They promise. It's a great time to, for my fellow North Americaners, if you like poker, it's a good time to risk a little and maybe win a lot and maybe have fun.
That's
and
the best version.
If you're listening, I'm ready for that corporate sponsorship. See how this is? I could do Global Poker. I'm ready. I'm ready, Global.
That's the best. That like low risk, big rewards. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's, I don't play high limits online. I've seen poker players play for astronomical sums online where they're playing literally hundreds of hands an hour and trading hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can't see doing that on the internet. Huh?
No, unless you have a friend like Stephen Bridges where they just loan you this massive amount of money.
Well, I mean, if I had a friend like that, I wouldn't say no, but I'm not putting my hard-earned money on the internet. Maybe in Vegas, but not online. No, thank you.
Maybe when Chris Kenner invests in you, then you can go big.
It's just, putting big money online poker is just a bad idea because there's going to be 10 guys waiting for you. They're in a room in Texas, all huddled over the same monitor. I don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, true.
But if you play with the micros, there's a whole bunch of people, and no one cares about that money. So you get a good game, And plus, most of those players are bad.
You've heard it here, folks. The plays are bad.
Well, the low
and then someone like Doug Conn swings in and cleans up. So
it's proof that poker is a skill-based game. It is that. If you study the game and give it some intelligent thought, then you can win. You can win. Certainly at the low levels, for sure.
Speaking of intelligent thought, we have a guy who's here for us today who has been putting some really great thought into his content creating for magic and comedy-based videos. He's from the UK, so we appreciate him being up so late to join us. That's why we're a little bit earlier than normal on this live. We're going to introduce him right now. Here he is. It's Jack Rhodes, ladies and gentlemen.
I have to admire that segue. You went that was some segue. Intelligent thought, intelligent content. Unreal.
Hey, we haven't been doing the podcast for a year for nothing. You know what I mean?
I like it.
But Jack, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. Well, I was good, and then I smashed my computer monitor, and now I'm less good, but I'm still good.
We all
outside, I'm positive, and inside, it's a different story. But
yeah, and you know that is really eating you up when you've told like all 3 of us now, me, Doug, and the viewers.
The 3rd time. Yeah.
No, it's important, and it's important for context so they understand the vibe of today's episode. I'll show them the picture if you want. So yeah, that's a
sadness.
It's a bit of a sadness.
It's like Christmas followed by Doomsday. That's what it is.
It's like, yeah. So if ever like I gave off like an edgy vibe, there's that context that might help out a little bit. But it's fine. It's fine.
What were your plans for that monitor? Massive editing, or are you a hardcore
gamer?
Yeah,
it's just so good to have all your editing just on one massive screen.
Yeah,
It's
Right.
great. Just have your
Now, for
timeline
those for those who have watched some of Jack's content, you'll know that his videos are very edit heavy. Like there's some crazy things going on. I first stumbled across you just through, I'm sure this is how most people did, watching Fool Us videos, and then I just see another one, and I'm like, oh, cool, this one's got a lot of views. Must be good. And I start watching it, and I'm like, is this guy trolling Penn and Teller? I'm not sure yet. I'll keep watching. And it was like the most entertaining video ever, but you didn't go on Fool Us. So that had to have some, like, what was your thought going into that? And did you edit it all yourself?
In short, yes. I mean, that was like one of the earliest. That was the first video that I did that really like took off. And the idea, like, I was surprised nobody had done it before. So if no one's watched it, it's basically I edited myself on Penn and Teller, and I did like ridiculous, easy tricks, all this stuff, and then it cut to the like standing ovation. Penn and Teller were like going crazy for it, and it was like I didn't have a studio at the time. It was like I waited for my wife to go out, and she took the dog out, and I got a green cloth and I hung it on the curtain rail, and that was my green screen. I didn't have any lights, so just used it's quite an amateur video in that sense, but then you had a bit of like fancy editing on top, and it sort of came together.
I love that so much. Guerrilla filming, just getting it done.
Well, because the idea was so like it didn't require much of a script apart from the first bit. They always have like the introduction on a Fool Us video, but the actual act itself, I was like, right, I'll just make it up. I'll just do loads of funny stuff, and then we'll just clean it up in the edit. But yeah, some of the comments on that video were amazing when that first went out. Like the reactions were.
Did you had comments
really into it?
You had people believing you were actually auditioning, right? And they're like, "This guy shouldn't make it through," or things like that.
Yeah, there was like people kicking off that the show had like lost its touch because this guy had fooled Penn and Teller.
Oh my god!
But like when you watch it, I mean, I did it intentionally. I thought it was clearly a parody. I thought like there was no chance this is going to fool anyone. Like immediately, it's noticeable. Like I cut my head out and put it on someone else's body, and intentionally made it bigger than normal. And I was like, "There's no chance anyone's going to fall for that." But yeah, I don't know. Like you look at the like-dislike ratio, that tells you how many people fell for it.
Well, there's like what? It's at like over 400,000 views now.
Oh yeah, something crazy. Yeah. And I did another like. There's a few of them. There's an America's Got Talent one, which is a similar premise. Like, I don't know. It's crazy how easily people are duped on the internet.
Jack, where do we watch these things? I'm assuming YouTube, yes, and your channel is just Jack Rhodes.
Yeah, just Jack Rhodes. Yeah.
Had you been doing YouTube before you decided to do this Penn and Teller parody? Is that time?
Yeah, I've been doing. So I started doing the YouTube stuff basically when the first lockdown came in the UK in 2020. I think it was late 2020 actually.
Same.
And I started doing. I do a lot of drawing, and my first videos were like doing caricature. I was doing caricature roasts, I used to call them, which is a thing I've made up, and it never took off. Right. But basically, I would do like a caricature of a celebrity and I'd tell jokes about them in like a 5-minute clip. And then, obviously, doing magic in the background, I thought, well, I'll make some magic stuff as well. And then I did a few like fake tutorials where I'd do like false methods for tricks. So like I did a tutorial for a trick where it's like, they put the Rubik's Cube that's mixed up, you put it in the bag, you take it out and it's solved. And my method was you clone yourself into a mini version of yourself and put your mini version of yourself in the bag. And you teach him how to solve the cube and then he mixes it up in the bag. Like just that stuff. And then it went to the Fool Us thing. So it was like a natural progression of like, cause I did start off as a video editor. I was learning, I was going along. So you can see really if you go from the start of the YouTube channel to now, it's sort of like they get more and more complex really.
And this was a pandemic project, correct?
Yeah.
How much? So many creative things have come out of that, and including all of us. And so another one. It's great to see. Really great to see.
It forces you to be creative, doesn't it? Like being stuck inside, you're like just, especially when you're used to gigging and like going out and entertaining people, you've just got that creative drive to do something.
As soon as it stops, you're like, I need to get that kick from something else. Like I need to share my creativeness some other way.
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, it's become, the video content or podcasting or, some kind of outlet we can do from home, no matter what. It's great.
It's definitely opened up a new world of like content creation. And like you said, so many podcasts and channels and people who you'd never could consider doing stuff like that, like because of the lockdowns have gone and actually tried it, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. We brought it up just before the podcast, but Blackpool just happened. And we want to know about it because here in Australia and obviously in New Orleans, like it's a little far to get there, I haven't ventured there yet. I have been to Magic Live, but not to Blackpool.
Blackpool, that's for those that aren't aware, is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, magic convention in the world.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, it's a Congress of Magi.
Have you been yourself, Doug? Have you been, Doug? Have you been in the past?
I haven't. No, I've never been to the UK. I spent a year in France as a young man, but never made it up north. And I've been talking to some kindred spirits. Hopefully in the next year or two, I'll be there. I'll see you there. That would be awesome.
It's so good. I mean, I've not been to any other magic convention, so I can't compare it to the other ones. But I've been told from the guys that have been to the other ones, this is the best one. And I've been going for like, I don't know, 6 years, maybe something like that. And, it's 2020 was like there's 6,000 people there, which is crazy. Like,
I mean,
magicians take over it.
So there's like 1,000 magicians. That's a lot. Like, it's unbelievable to have 1,000. 5,000?
Madness. Yeah. But like the entire town is like every hotel is like booked out. Like you've got to book in advance to get you. It's madness. It's absolute madness. But it's great because anywhere you walk, there's magicians fiddling with cards, doing coin stuff. Like you can go anywhere and there's people that are like-minded and enjoy what you're doing. It's so good. And like this year was obviously a little bit quieter because of lockdowns and COVID and international travel restrictions. But there's still like 3,000 people, which it was still as big. Like you still probably see the same amount of people because you obviously can't see 6,000 people. But
how do they handle the learning, like the lectures and also the shows? Where do you put thousands of magicians to entertain them or teach them?
I was going to say because I think Magic Live is only 2,000 people from memory because it's everyone stays in the one casino, and I can't imagine 5,000. Yeah, how do they orchestrate that?
Yeah, well, it's just busy all the time, basically. But in terms of the shows, they have an early show and a late show. So depending on which ticket you get, they do 2 shows a night. So that splits it already.
Okay.
The theatre itself is quite big. I don't know what the capacity is. I imagine it's about 2,500. I don't know.
Would have to be.
It's quite a big theatre. Yeah.
Is it like the Britain's Got Talent auditorium? Because it's got to be a big theatre to fit that many people.
I wouldn't say it's that big, but I mean they still sell tickets to like the public though, so the public can come and see the shows as well as magicians. So there must be extra space. I don't know how big the venue is, but like with the lectures as well, they'll have them on like a stage and they'll have the cameras on and a screen behind them, and usually the entire room is filled. But they'll have like 2 lectures on at once, or 2 or 3 lectures on, and you get this like calendar with all the events on. You've got to pick which ones you want to watch, but there's usually like 2 or 3 stuff on at the same time that you'd want to see, so you always end up missing something. But yeah, basically they have that much going on that it's not like there's 6,000 people all in one place. Basically,
it's all spread out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's so good though. It's so good.
That's insane. How do you even know what to absorb when you're there? Do you spend most of your time jamming with other guys? Or actually, I saw your last YouTube video. So you spent some of your time there being trolled with your face being posted all around Blackpool. The
troll becomes the trolley. Yeah. Basically, I mean, I didn't know this was going to happen, but I went with my group, and they're like proper piss-taking old men, basically. I'm the youngest of the group. And since doing the YouTube videos, they're like, right, let's knock him down a peg or 2. And basically I turned up and there was just pictures, like they printed hundreds of posters of like fake posters. Jack Rhodes, award-winning-ish magician, ask for photo. And they just put them everywhere. And it was like, we walked into the Winter Gardens, the main venue, there's like pictures of my face everywhere. So I was immediately like, oh Christ, I need to make sure that people don't think I'm putting them up myself, because that would be the most like psychotic thing ever. Yeah, it was madness. It was funny, and I got a video out of it, so it worked out. But yeah, it could have gone either way. The hotel ended up messaging me saying, "This needs to stop. If you have any idea who's putting these posters up, they're covering key information. We need to get rid of them."
Oh boy, not a bad idea though. You know, like we said at the beginning, guerrilla marketing. Even if it wasn't you, it's still you still used it in a way, in a positive way.
And I did get a lot of there's a lot of followers that were going, well, it must be a big deal. His face is everywhere, so they were looking me up on Instagram and they're going, "Oh, his videos are all right." Yeah, it actually worked out, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, maybe a guy who can talk to us about guerrilla content marketing. He's just arrived.
What?
Jason Ma, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
I don't know how this sounds. Does this sound okay?
It sounds horrible. Yeah, it's definitely from a tin can. But I'm guessing you're not on your usual setup.
Is it sounding horrible?
You're not coming from a mic. You're just coming from your laptop, right?
Fucking technology.
It sounds okay.
So Josh is just being an ass.
No, it just sounds like it's coming from your laptop. That's what I'm saying. In case that's not your intention.
Hold on.
Because you have a mic, right? Unless
all right, how's that? Is
disappeared.
Lights look good though. Lights look really good.
Hmm.
No, yeah, it's this.
Now we've lost you.
Yeah, I pushed the mute button by accident.
Oh, great. Okay, he's here.
Onward.
Yeah. Anyway, Jason, meet Jack. Jack, meet Jason. This
Jason.
I would have been here earlier, but I was having technical difficulties. So.
Well, now that we've cleared all that up and we've just smoothly transitioned onwards, let's keep going. So Jack, are you doing YouTube content full time at the moment, or magic, or what's your setup?
It's basically a hobby at this point. Yeah, my full-time job is nothing to do with this. But you know, I was doing a lot of close-up gigs prior to the pandemic, and like everyone, then gigs stopped going, and then I was doing a lot of stand-up stuff, stand-up comedy, and basically all of that just got shut down. And that's when I started doing YouTube content. But you know, I don't know how many subscribers you got to get to make a living, but it's nowhere near what you'd have to make to sustain a living. But I mean, in the future, that'd be ideal.
Yeah, I mean, Doug, you can probably speak on that, right? Like, because you've been building.
Yeah, as a full-time content creator, I recommend winning poker tournaments to sustain your livelihood. No, you know, so what do I got? I got like a magic shop on the side that I got side hustles that make it work, you know, and then
yeah.
So, but yeah,
your stuff's mainly shorts, isn't it? YouTube shorts, which the monetization side of it isn't as good as.
It's not, except there are companies that are starting to pay creators. Meta being one of them. They're offering a livable wage. So the last couple of months, I could actually pay my rent with what they're paying, and that has not been the case for the years prior to that. So,
damn,
that's the start of good times then. Must be hard monetizing the short form stuff because you don't ever see adverts in the video, see, because it's like a 10-second video, scroll. They haven't got time to show an advert, whereas with a long form thing.
But what if you have a magic shop and your product is a magic trick? So now we can connect the side hustles. And then maybe I do a trick where I point the viewer to my membership area on YouTube where they could learn some magic, right? Advanced stuff. And that's another facet that would make this puzzle work.
Yeah. Tricks of the trade.
Yeah. So many options. Mike's just asking who's the new guy. So this is Jason. He's a co-host of ours. And you'll see him on here a lot more often. So thanks for the question, Mike. Appreciate it. Funny bastard.
I would be here more often, but I just, I have important things to take care of.
Yeah. Have you focused much energy on the short form platforms?
Not really. Like when I first got into it, like, I don't know, I was always like, I just wanted to stick to long form stuff. Like short form, I've never been a big TikToker, and I appreciate the work that goes into TikTok videos, but I was never like, I didn't have TikTok at the start, but now, I don't know, it seems like that's the way to really grow, isn't it? Like short form content is where it's at. You know, you look at like Instagram Reels, TikToks, they're all trying to compete with each other, and that is a way to exploit it. Because I think long form content on YouTube is one of the hardest things to gain a following from, unless you get like one viral hit. But I don't know, Jason's the man on that, I guess, with the massive TikTok following. But the short form stuff seems to be where it's at right now.
Yeah, they provide the reach, just not the money. Yeah. You got to point them to the money.
It's a fun, isn't it?
Money's coming. Money's coming. I think after 1 million, it changes there, Doug.
Well, I hope to be trending upward and onward months from now. We'll see. Stay tuned. I hope everyone does the same. I hope all of us find that to be true.
I'm finding, I'm finding that with short form content, well, one, I get kind of bored of making it, firstly, because there's only so much you can do in that avenue, right? Making short form. And then the other thing is that I just want to sort of branch out and do something a bit more, like I want to do long form, but I don't want to just do magic. I don't know how to explain it. Magic's a bit weird because like I could just sit there and do tricks in front of a camera, but then it's like, I don't really want to do that. And then I could make like comedy videos, which, I've experimented with a bunch of different things, but it's like, how can I make something that I could consistently produce like a series? Because YouTube requires commitment. It requires like regular uploading and a lot of TLC. It's like, how do you meet that criteria doing magic without being a tutorial channel constantly? Do you know what I mean? That's the trick. It's just so difficult. And it's so hard to break it because everyone just goes down the tutorial route. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. If you're a good teacher, like Doug's a great teacher. So when I watch his stuff on YouTube and he's teaching stuff, it's great. He sources it. He does a really good job with it. But it's just, I don't know if it's for me. I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be something more. And that's the thing that I'm struggling with, like trying to figure out how to get past that. So maybe it's the same for you.
Yeah. It's just trying to find that one idea that can become a series that you can do consistently and, it still be a good standard.
Yeah.
It's an easier thing to do.
I think,
considered making a YouTube series.
What are the odds? Oh, look, that's a great idea, Corey. That's a great idea.
Right. You know what? We should do that. How have we not thought of that?
I know. Actually, what would be a good idea is like, we should just come on here and chat once a week. And maybe to mix it up, we'll bring like a guest on to bring like fresh ideas to it each time.
It could turn into a series.
Yeah, it could be a series for sure. We're a bunch of guys that do magic, but we just have to come up with a catchy name. That's all.
The Magic Fellas.
Magic Fellas, yeah. I wish I kept the recordings of us, our voice recordings, trying to come up with names for this, because it was quite entertaining.
What were some of the initial names? What were the early names?
Oh my god! I wonder. I don't know if Facebook
Scrotum.
records them, but what?
You thought about Lance Scrotum in the game?
That was a top one, yeah.
The more gay Siegfried and Roy.
See, we didn't have Doug at the time when we first started to give us all these great ideas. So. Yeah.
Yeah, the logo suggests that. Yeah.
A discussion of the Virgin Arts we thought about.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It sounds like a very
we thought about a lot.
Yeah. Did you see Pig Cake when you were at Blackpool, by the way? Because we saw him put up tons of posts when he was there.
Yeah, I never actually, I never spoke to him. I've seen him running about, but I never actually stopped and had a chat with him. But he was with a group of guys. I think there was quite a few people from America.
Classic Piggy. Gay.
Yeah, he loved it. I mean, all of his videos were just slagging off Blackpool and like the food and how rough it is, which is exactly right. But yeah, I mean, normally there's a lot more people walking around with like a camera on like a little tripod, but there wasn't that many really this time. But people love watching the Blackpool videos straight after Blackpool.
Yeah, I watched a couple, and that's how I found Pig Cakes.
Yeah, he's funny as Pig Cake. Love that guy.
Michael Lawrence, what if you did an Impractical Jokers but with magic? Oh, wait. Well, that series is gone as well. I love these ideas, guys. If you guys have other ideas, please throw them on.
If you have any other bangers that you want to lay out on the table for us, guys, let us know.
Yeah. I mean, the other approaches you can do things like street magic, which Jason and I would do for a time until obviously we couldn't. Only now, actually in Brisbane, is mask free, finally. So I don't know what it's like for you guys, but the gates are open
free
again.
down here too. It's all of Australia.
Yeah, the floodgates are open again for magic.
That's madness.
Yeah. Australia's back to normal, man. We have no restrictions. We have no restrictions. We have nothing. Everything's gone back to normal.
It's good though.
Borders are open. International borders are open. Josh is open, but he never closed. Let's be honest.
Well, that's why Jason moved away. He's like, this is too much.
Can't handle that much, Josh.
Yeah. Jack, would you consider doing a street magic piece of content? Is that your thing?
Yeah, that is something that's in the pipeline. In fact, I want to do like a parody of street magic videos, so like every street magic video ever, just like loads of slow motion walking.
They did the David.
It's been done.
Yeah, sorry, bro. Yeah,
well, that's that gone then.
Yeah, that's your idea gone. Sorry, bro.
But
everything you've ever thought of is done.
Yeah, everything you ever think of is already online. Like, I think of an idea and I go, I'll have a look, see if it's online. No, it's on YouTube. Damn. But I think potentially a series of like street magic challenges. So like, kind of do street magic with gloves on, and have like felt gloves and then boxing gloves, or I don't know. There's ways of making it interesting, but you've got to think of an interesting thumbnail and title eventually, haven't you? That's the pull. It can't just be Street Magic episode 3. I don't know if that's going to pull anyone in.
I think one of our viewers has he said this would be a reference you might recognize. When is he going to be on Oprah? Does that mean something to you, Bob?
Bob Possible. Yeah, like for a while I was like editing myself on a Jimmy Fallon and a James Corden show and all these American talk shows, and then the running gag became, when's he going to do Oprah? Which I still haven't done. So maybe that's in the pipeline. Street magic for Oprah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should do that.
This is a good one too, from Squeezer. Jack should do fake magic product reviews of tricks that don't exist. Is that kind of like...
the most niche.
That's very niche. Like the Wizard product review parody. That's going to be a very niche market, but... like,
if you were funny enough, you could reach a big audience.
Yeah, like they'll be like real hardcore fans, you know.
You can have like three versions of yourself. One with like a dead slick jacket on, one like bald, one with like a beard, and then like bring your dog on, and do reviews of tricks.
Yeah. Well, you had the dog part down pat.
Yeah, we've got the dog. Hey, we're nearly there.
This is
So, are you doing a lot of virtual shows? You've got a bit of a studio set up there. I missed the beginning of this pod, so...
so basically, I haven't done any virtual stuff. I mean, I went from doing close-up weddings to quitting magic altogether and doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed doing for like a couple of years, and then pandemic hit, and then I started doing this. But this is purely for making content. This is my garage. So this was a bare concrete garage that's detached from the house. I spent 2 or 3 months with help from a mate of mine, turning this into the studio that it is now. And I've considered doing virtual shows, but I thought I'd rather just do it in person. And we're sort of in the back end of that now. And I don't know if starting up a virtual show now is a viable prospect. I mean, there's a lot of people who still do them, but I think now there's more than ever, there's people wanting to get back at like a real gig experience, aren't there?
Yeah, I think you're right. This is actually my bathroom. I'm sitting on the toilet right now. So I turned it into
just have a dump. You can just have a dump straight away.
I'm actually currently taking a shit while we're talking shit. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the shit.
Yeah. So his final load of cups and balls.
How would I scoop that in? I wonder how I'd make that.
It's a strong opener.
I'm reminded.
You can actually see behind your ear.
There is a routine in print. Dan Huffman did a routine called Cups and Flies. He had little plastic cups and little plastic flies as the balls. And the final loads were fake dog dookies. So at the end, because the flies are attracted to the crapola.
Have you seen that trick with the nappy? where you produce the poo and it's just a malt loaf like dried up and it flies out into the audience. Yeah, that's that's probably a Blackpool special, that one.
Wow, that's again very niche style of magic.
Since we're talking about cups, look what I picked up, Doug. Managed to get a hold of this beauty.
Baby. It's only the most beautiful magic book ever printed.
You know, I have to say this has been the best read that I've had. As in, like, because at the start it has a good like synopsis and story about Cellini and stuff, and it's beautiful, man. It's a really good read. If you want to read it, you should.
That is a gem. Not easy to come by. Where'd you get one?
No, it's not. No, I got lucky. Someone was selling it on the internet, and I snatched it up straight away.
Nice.
It's in good nick, man. It's like almost completely undestroyed. The unfortunate thing is that some twat wrote their name in it, and his address, and his phone numbers.
The artwork
him on the internet.
One of my all-time favorite books, for sure. The Royal.
Yeah, it's great. It's good read.
You know what that book is? It's a handbook for an act. You just go here, learn this, and all the commercial, practical stuff is in there. Certainly for busking, but for any magician, it's all there.
Yeah.
I'm going to do more reading.
Yeah, you should, Josh. You should exercise that little brain of yours, man. Read a book.
It's so easy now with downloads, isn't it? You just get sucked into watching video tutorials. You never end up reading a book.
Yeah,
I actually find myself really struggling to watch video downloads now. Because magicians are the cringiest motherfuckers in the world. It's so hard to listen to every single magician tell me that this shit is the tits and it's like built their career for so long and blah, 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 blah. And if you do it right, it's perfect. It's like, shut up, man. It's
easier to mask the cringe in a book, whereas on video, there's
so
no
much
hiding.
easier. Well, the fortunate thing is that in most books, or most good books, I would say, is that they're books of someone written about someone else. So it's like it's the secondhand opinion of someone else, which is far less, like grandizing than the first person talking about themselves. So like in this case, this person's a massive fan and student of Cellini, and then he writes about it, and it's beautiful. But in if you watch like a tutorial, they're like, yeah, so I walk up to my gigs and bitches want to fuck me. You're like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, you do this trick, you can fucking throw your ring through your asshole and it ends up in your mouth and blah blah blah. And then
whoa.
See, if that was a book, I'd read that.
Yeah. Only if it was a picture book.
This is a book worth reading. No Ordinary Magic. This is not a biography, but it's a story of a woman that Jim Cellini met in the, I guess, late 70s, early 80s, and her travels with him through the world as a street performer. No Ordinary Magic. If you like reading, any magic stories, but it's not, you don't even have to be a magician to appreciate what this book's about. Great book about Cellini.
Cellini was just a real nice guy, man.
There's a lot of books that magicians should read that aren't magic related as well. Like just general, I don't know. I read a lot of stand-up comedy books that open your eyes to just thinking differently about your magic.
It's Bible. Everyone should read that book.
Yeah. Yeah, and this, what was it? I think I might want to the director's. So what is it? The director's guide to stand-up.
Maximum Entertainment
Guide.
He's looking back at his comprehensive bookshelf there.
Yeah, this massive bookshelf of 5 books.
It's got to be here somewhere. Yeah.
Wait, and then he's going to peel off the sticker of the bookcase.
What is that book? Can you show that a little closer?
A director's guide to the art of stand-up.
Wow.
It's not even written by comedians. It's written by the guys who direct the shows. So it's
fantastic.
An analytical view of looking at your own act and try to tweak it and make it the best it can be.
What really kind of things are you picking up in there? Like any nuggets to spread?
I don't know. I mean, the main thing for me was, and this was what all the stand-up guys said, just record every performance you ever do. Well, if you can get a video performance, perfect. If not, get an audio recording. But because with stand-up, it's all about every line has to be, you're looking at that gag per minute rate, aren't you? And the top guys are getting one big laugh every 10 seconds. and you record yourself, and in your head it's gone really well. And then, but if there's a 20-second gap and there's no laugh, you can then identify that point and pick out which bit doesn't work and try and tweak it. So these directors that like directs entire shows, they'll look at the big picture, record the full thing, and like just hone in on little bits just to make it that bit better. And like I think with the video production side of it as well, it makes you realize, like, just making the videos, I feel like that brings out a different, you're more yourself, and you learn more about what works and what doesn't, which I think can just apply to any sort of performance, magic or not, really.
Man, it's a good thing comedy is subjective.
Magic should be.
Magic.
There should be like you should get heckled as a magician more, but for some reason people are like,
I love a good heckle. I encourage a good heckle.
But most magicians are like just really not confident, and if you heckle them, they're probably like the end of.
They crumble, right? They just because they tunnel vision when they do their routine. They're like, okay, so I just want to get you to pick a card, and then when you place it back, you'll notice it'll be a 37 from the top, and they're like, no, it's 32. They're like, oh, yeah, 35, 32.
I haven't realized the line to come back to that.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. When people start doing magic, they're not already the most confident of people, right?
No,
they're not like these confident people getting into magic.
Bro, I'm talking about people that are like gigging magicians, man. You hear them trip over themselves all the time. As soon as someone interrupts them, they're like, oh.
Well, that was the main thing, but like the main difference between comedy and magic, in comedy, if you were doing the same lines as someone else, you'd like get barred from that comedy club. Whereas magicians will watch a magic download and then do the trick, the exact same lines.
Let's understand magic is a unique art form. I use the word art loosely in this conversation, in that it allows amateurs to perform, again, loosely using the word, perform their art in all kinds of situations, right? Like a comedian, if you're a professional comedian, you're not just going to bust into your stand-up routine, right? But a magician, a cashier,
there's a lower
grocery,
barrier.
Anybody's fair game.
There's a lower barrier for entry, which
also as a comedian, from a professional viewpoint, that's a big gap between an amateur magician as well, right? Like there's not
like a good magician and a bad magician. Yeah, there's a huge leap, I think. I think a lot of magicians stay bad, even when they're like full-time magicians. They're still bad. They never move on from that. I mean,
we can quantify all humanity that way. There's bad mechanics, there's bad teachers, there's bad politicians,
I dare say there's probably more people trying to be a stand-up comic than there are people learning magic. Would you agree? Like there's so many open mic nights where people are trying to make it. You think that?
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe because magic has got that perception. Like anytime magic is, put on telly or in a sitcom, it's always the geeky, nerdy thing to do, isn't it? Whereas a stand-up is like seen as this ultimate, like, oh, that's the Billy thing.
Tell me what's nerdy about magic, huh?
Well, I think
what's nerdy about learning how to do a quadruple cut like this, where I end up with a rotation around the thumb, and I can hot shot straight out of the middle of the deck into a flicker and a finish with whatever the fuck that move was. What's nerdy about that?
Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
What's nerdy about doing a one-handed top change, huh? Tell me.
Well, just a different, where I was leading was like just a different dynamic, is that there's like such a higher barrier to entry to be a professional stand-up comedian, I think. Because especially...
Oh, dude.
I don't know how long ago they...
stand-up comedian.
Yeah, like I don't know how long ago they started this, but... No, yeah, good, yeah. And obviously we're not going to become professional announcers. But no, you go, Jace.
Well, you know what I think of magic? I think it's like, have you ever seen Carrot Top? Magic is like worse Carrot Top, It's prop magic. It's like prop comedy where it's like all the same stuff, that everyone does the same trick and they do the same gags, and everyone's like, oh, have you had a hit of this pen? Do you want a hit, bro? A comedy. You know what I mean?
But
it's all the same gags and the same visuals, and Every magician pukes up
in the magic
cards.
world, no one pulls up anyone on that. No one's like bothered that everyone's doing the same lines. Whereas in the comedy world, it's immediately like, no, you're not doing that. Like if you do the same routine as someone else, it's madness.
Again, I would say in professional venues, I don't think professionals steal from professionals. Maybe on the lower level, but like you're not going to see Copperfield using Matt King's lines, and I'm using those two names off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think that's the difference then, because in comedy, like even on a lower level, it's well known. You just do your own stuff. You do your own routines and make them work. You don't ever do anybody else's. Whereas I think then that is the difference with magic at that lower level. It's, you know, you can do these stock lines. Shows your hand, your clean hand. Oh, that was your clean hand. Be careful with that. It's sharp.
Bro, I hate that line. That's one of my least favorite lines.
And I think it all just stems from the fact that, like, in order to learn these difficult sleight of hand moves, you have to watch the people who, you know, were before us to do it, and we just then absorb the lines when we're beginning that they say while they're doing that. Whereas, like, stand-up comics, you're not, like, learning someone's show so that you can learn the timings of, like, lines and stuff.
Like, I was like, when I first started and I was like 12, like, and I was doing them lines, and I was, like, as a 12-year-old going up to an adult and saying, can I have your hand? No, sorry, your clean hand. Oh, that was your clean hand. Like, like, it's so weird that, like, that's just an accepted thing to do. It's just madness. It's mental.
I always think it's funny when you go to a gig and they're like, oh, we saw this magician before. Can you do that one where they put the X on your hand? How can you do that one?
Yeah.
Have you had that many times?
People, yeah, actually in Sydney, and not in Brisbane because I wasn't like heavy on the gigs there. I just did my residencies. But here, yeah, it comes up. Luckily for me, I can do that trick because I bought it.
I think the new version of that will be the card to watch will be the next one, won't it? Can you do the one where you change the card into the watch?
Yeah.
And it's like if you stand within 5 degrees in front of me, yeah, there you go. And no one else around.
Oh, that trick. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a guy that we are friends with who uses it religiously. It's like something that he does all the time in his videos.
It's a great trick, but it's just...
Is it?
So...
What's the point of it, though? Where's the plot?
Yeah, well, we've got to make a plot, but it's good for a quick video, isn't it? But...
I love me a performance of a dude just walking in like this.
And they're like,
I remember the first time I saw that trick, Shin Lim had it. I guess he had it before anyone else. And Shin Lim did this. And I was like, oh, he just dropped the card. I just thought he just dropped it. It was irrelevant to me from that point on. Before everybody thought it was great magic.
It's such a funny trick. I just never understand it. There's only one that I've ever seen that I liked. And it was this Korean guy, and I tagged Josh in it. And he actually takes a card and he holds it like this, showing the back of it, and then he turns it this way here, and then he goes, and it turns into a watch, and it fools the shit out of me. I have no idea how he's doing it. It looks amazing, but that's the only time I've ever seen someone do it, and it was good. Everyone else is just like, they're like, literally, you'll see them like sit back from the camera. They're like, so guys, when a magician gets ready, every time.
Well, they'll say,
like, dude.
They'll say, guys, it's time, and then change it.
Watch.
Well, they'll do that thing where they're like, watch. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Dude, even the thing is, like even the magicians that we all looked up to when we were learning, like Eric Jones, for example, even he would do that same thing where he's like, watch. And you're like, dude, it's like, come on, Eric. Like, you're better than this, man.
But the fact that we're on opposite sides of the planet and we all know the same lines just says how right that problem is. Like, it's mental.
That's so true.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, opposite ends of the world. You know, even when I'm street performing and I travel to like new pitches and stuff all over the world, yeah, you'll see another magician doing the same standard stock jokes, all the same. It's like, because I do a cups and balls show, and man, I get people being like, "Do you know Gazzo?" Like random people, like just people that aren't magicians. They're like, "Do you know Gazzo?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." Yeah.
He had that one hit on YouTube, though, didn't he? Did he ever that cups and balls routine? It got like a couple million views, didn't it, on YouTube? Maybe they've seen it from there.
Plus, he's performed more magic shows than any magician alive.
Oh, dude,
there is
mad respect to him. Mad respect to him. But it's such a shame that if you do the cups now, you're immediately a Gazzo clone.
But that's the issue as well. Is like limited with comedy. There's like an unlimited amount of things you can do. Whereas with magic, you're sort of limited to what you can do, really. So you can do the same trick, but you put your own spin on it. But a lot of people just see it as the same trick.
Well, I think these days,
I think magic's the limitless art form. I disagree.
I think what it is, like these days, the pros realize, most of them, that that's just the instrument in order to entertain the guests, right? So like we use the prop, but then it's all the other stuff around it that we're actually adding our pizzazz into, like how Jace can do cuffs and balls, but it's not really about that. It's like all the banter that's going on around it.
Oh,
as well as
the entertainment is more important than the trick, really.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I think that's something we brought up a lot. Like the trick really isn't that important. Like it has to be good, but it's not really about the trick at the end.
Well, I think that's what separates them all, right?
Don't figure out. They don't
Well,
figure out the trick is not the important thing.
I can also, you can also prove it to people too, because when it comes to like the short form stuff, both Doug and I have a very similar style in our videos. And that style is pretty much the trick, but it's mostly talking. Like it's mostly throwing in jokes and having moments and blah, 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 blah. And as a result, on any platform that I decide to post videos on, I have great success with, no matter what the platform is. Whereas like someone who's copying my stuff, which happens a lot, they copy my trick, but they just don't have that same, gift of the gab. And then
it's the personality, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But they should take that and apply it to their own personality. That's the issue. They're trying to copy you and do what works for you. And ultimately, it's like in the book. You watch back your own thing, and if it doesn't quite work for you, you've got to tweak it and do it differently. But everyone can't be a carbon copy of each other. That's just madness.
Yeah, when someone asks me how to get good at magic, I tell them to find an original point of view. It's the hardest thing you'll have to do in the world, but that's how you get good. You find your original voice.
Yeah. And that's also like that's another good thing about books is like with a book you're sort of left to your own imagination how you're going to present the trick.
Yep.
There'll be like loose lines, whereas with a video it's so easy to just learn it line by line, and that's how you do it.
The ultimate is when you create everything, right? When you have the vision and then you make the method and then you create the presentation with the comedy and then the drama, which makes the audience go crazy. And this is why magic is the best art, because it can be all those things.
If you can't tell, Doug likes magic.
I love magic.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, Doug likes magic, yeah.
He has that tattooed on his back,
I feel like we've been
actually.
slagging it off a lot. We've been slagging it off a lot, but it is good. It's really good.
When it's great, it's the best. When it's bad, it's the worst. It's bad a lot. It's rarely great, but every once in a while, someone shows us how great it can be.
Yeah.
Derek Delgado did it recently.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that show.
Amen.
I need to watch it.
Right. You should watch it. It's a whole other level. It takes magic to a whole other level in terms of like the presentation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd never seen anything like it before.
And does it still come across that well on the special?
Yes.
They filmed it in such a way that it encaptures all of those emotions. Like there's probably a 90% chance you will tear up in watching this special. Like
maybe not you, man, because you're an alpha male big dog, you know what I mean? So you'll be fine. But the rest of us sensitive magicians, we all had a little tear up.
Yeah, man. Even like David Blaine, he's there in the audience watching. He's crying. So don't feel bad. Let it out.
Yeah, I need to watch it. Because that's the other thing with light magic. Like, it's all right doing it in person, but capturing that same feeling on camera is so much it's so much better in person. So I heard good things about the show, but I was thinking surely it can't be that good on video. But yeah, clearly he's found a way.
The approach to this kind of a documentary of the show is what it is. You're watching much more than just that performance of a show. So it's a documentary of this event is what it is.
Right.
Yeah. Just watch it. You'll be disappointed.
Is this that trick you did, Doug? Shrapnel? with the ring and the pin. Is that what it's called? Shrapnel?
Talking about Jimmy's comment there.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. Now, as he posted something, boy, I hope I had some kind of presentation to go with it.
Is that, yeah, I saw you post it recently. Is that what it was called? Shrapnel?
Shrapnel's the name of the effect, yes.
Yeah, I gotta
that
say,
was all
trick-
over Blackpool. That was all
yeah,
over
the trick
Blackpool.
fooled the shit out of me.
It's Barry Andrus's linking pins, if you're familiar with that. And if you're not, that's what it is. It's just using a ring, which is a smart move. The Andrus routine used 2 jumbo pins. They were big and suspicious. If you just use one regular safety pin and then a borrowed ring or
It's
any
not
ring.
gimmick.
Oh, it's gimmick, but the ring isn't. And here's the great thing about this shrapnel package. It provides everything. They give you a little tin to carry the pins in. The tutorial is excellent. You get 2 gimmicks with it. So if you lose one or break one, it's possible because they're little pins. It's just a great product. It's like it's setting the bar for how Magic should be released, as well as being a great routine.
So what you're saying is that I should have
online
order 3 copies now.
There's a problem. There's a problem. And the problem with that effect is it's not the best penetration. So if I'm choosing an effect that's going to represent a penetration to my audience, I'm not going to choose that one. That's just me.
Right.
Like it's not
what's your penetration choice, Doug?
So as a professional, the one I've worked on is ring and rope or string and ring. Yeah. In particular, I like Giovanni Lavira's ring, rope, and nut. Uses a big nut. But that's the thing. It's not gimmick.
Doug, the nut is the final load, right?
No, it's never mind.
I'm just wondering.
Sorry. Sometimes musicians are nerdier and don't get there as quick as they should.
The final load.
Yeah, and Jimmy says you do a lot more with that than most, so he's obviously seen it many times. It's good.
Well, I know. I knew when I said about. I'm skipping the topic.
Keep going. You said something about nutting. Magicians can't say penetration without giggling.
That's very true.
We can.
Magicians,
we can.
Yeah. More often than not, magicians say penetration.
The thing is that in order to say penetration, you keep saying it. It's so funny. It's a funny word. It's a funny word, man.
Yeah, I definitely don't say it on stage because I would definitely giggle.
Yeah,
because in the real world, you would never say the word penetration or anything else, and yet in the world of magic, it's penetration, and everyone's like, yeah.
I do say that word. I do the linking rings, and that's a good penetration trick. The linking rings. I say penetrate. Yeah, I should change that.
That's why you get tipped. That's why you get tipped the big bucks.
The state of the world's crazy right now. Like, you know that like this, like a playing card. Watch, no, I'm joking. A playing card, like the length of this is about the length, because the world's in a chaotic state, so this probably makes sense. But it's about the length of a sniper bullet, right? So like, and if that penetrates you, obviously that's going to be really bad for your health. And then if you got like an automatic rifle bullet, it's probably about the size of this pen cap, right? It's not quite as big as the sniper rifle bullet, but if that penetrates you, it will fuck you up, right? It's not going to be good for you. And then if you look at like a bullet from like a handgun, probably no bigger than this little ear pod here. And I'm sure it has a great personality. And if it penetrated you, it would do a fantastic job, I'm sure. Anyway.
Is there a point to this?
I was wondering where that was going.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a penis-sized joke, Josh.
No, you lost me. What's a penis? Definitely lost me. Michael Maher on Letterman, the whole crowd was laughing. I remember that clip too, when he's doing he's like, I'm going to show you, what is it, a vanish and a penetration. And the penetration of the silk and the teacup handle. Good shit. So if you ever need a quick joke, just add the word penetration into your patter. Seems to be the way to. Only magicians will laugh at it, but it will be solid.
Easy laugh.
I think most people laugh at that word because it's just a funny word. Penetration. Like, at what point in life would you ever use the word penetration outside of the context of a dirty joke? Tell me.
You definitely wouldn't use.
I've never even heard a doctor in the middle of surgery. Huh?
You definitely wouldn't use the word penetration when you're about to engage in penetration, because that is like the least.
Here comes the penetration.
I like to lighten the mood before I penetrate, so I'm sure I'll throw that in there.
With a bit of magic.
Penetration train.
There's other words though in magic that, like, if you say them into like a normal audience, like, can I see your ring? Like, I don't know what it's like where you live, but over here, your ring is like, oh, your ring piece. Let's see your ass crack. Like, they're all...
Yeah, that's right. Like, over here, we have to be careful about what we say. Like, if you want to borrow a toe ring, you would say toe ring. If you want to borrow like an earring, you'd say earring. If you want to borrow a fingering, fuck.
Have you ever borrowed a toe ring? That seems like a new
middle of a performance. Excuse me, mate, can I just borrow your toe ring there? I always ask the men for their toe rings, of course. But
Has anybody got a cock ring I can borrow?
I used to have one, but it kept falling off. I'm not sure why.
Doug's like, I'm sick of this. It's gone down a different path.
Oh no, I've used.
Doug is the sickest one here. Doug is like a feral animal, man. He just hasn't gotten started yet.
I've used the phrase cock ring on a professional level more than once. So
yeah, the kids' party, he's doing it.
I'm surprised no one's come up with Lincoln cock rings. Surely that's probably been done.
Is that a Sans Minds product? I don't know. I've seen that come out yet.
It's a worker.
It's a tenure. It's a tenure, Josh. A nice cheap quality tenure prop.
No, very small size tenure.
That's it.
Just sign this cock ring.
I mean, I do the Williamson, the Bruce Allen ring.
Doug's cock ring is fucking huge.
It's a natural assumption that's what it would be.
Jesus.
Wow. Must be nice.
No wonder you got married. God damn.
The table he's using actually has no legs on it. There you go. He's actually lifting your camera up. That is hilarious.
That's the only time you should ever use a standing desk. That is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, this just reminds me of Blackpool. If you've never been, you need to go see the Not the Gala show. And they do another one called Beat the Wand, and it's just crazy. It's a gong show, and one of them one year was a guy. He was just naked, but he had a napkin on his front, and he just did like a levitating dick. And then he whipped it off, and he got his dick out, and everyone cheered. Mental.
Wow.
Wow. That's what you're missing out on.
Oh my!
That's confidence, man.
This
frontal
time
nudity on stage.
Yeah, full frontal nudity. It was mental. This time, the winner of Beat the Wand was
probably a good penetration after that.
The winner this time was a disabled man who pretended to shit himself on stage. That's who won it this time. So that shows you the level of the Beat the Wand show.
Whoa. Let me ask you this: enough, did you laugh?
It was funny.
Comedy gold. Yeah. Then no wonder he won.
Can I ask what that looks like? Like, what does that act look like?
Yeah, could you reenact it right now for us?
Let me get the video out. He basically he just filled his pants with something. I don't know what it was. And then he said, "Oh, it was a trick," and we all just believed it.
I'm fucking with you. I didn't shit myself.
Is it possible that he just? Is there a possibility he's just accidentally stumbled across the stage looking for the bathroom? Is that possible?
Shit himself, and then a bunch of magicians went, "That's the best trick I've ever seen."
Yeah, he's gone, man, I must be really tripping off that weed. And then he's left the bathroom. That's weird.
That's Blackpool.
Maybe he doesn't even remember going on that stage. Maybe he was just like, man, that was...
Oh, no, he then joined the Blackpool Facebook group and posted a video of that clip to the group. So he is fully on in that routine.
I love recognition for the things that you do is important. I don't know if I want to be recognized as the guy that shat myself on stage.
Pretended to.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Have you ever done that?
Much better. Shat yourself
Have
on
you
stage.
ever shit yourself gigging?
Not yet.
Not on
yet.
stage, no, definitely.
I did it busking once. Not intentionally, but
That's fucking amazing.
yeah, it wasn't my finest moment.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I was dead young as well. I was like 13.
Obviously.
Oh yeah, you finished the show. That was my cups and balls final load. It worked out perfect.
Oh.
But I was like 13, and I was just like, I was so ill the night before. I think I had food poisoning, and you know when you do them like wet farts, and you're not sure if you quite trust your own body. And it was like a hot day, and I was like, I must just be sweating or something. And then I checked it later on, and I was like, I just shit myself.
No, definitely. Actually, you finished the show. You finished the show, made an easy $100, and then checked your pants, and you were like, "Oh shit!"
I can't say that like mid gig I've decided to let a wet fart out anyway because
Oh, it was pre-gig. It was pre-gig.
You try to let it go under the radar silently.
Pick a card.
Like,
Hang on.
Get you to pick a card.
You got to time it when you know they're going to react big. That's when you let it out.
This is when you do it. Josh. You go like this. You go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just gonna. Yeah. So
that would work.
I'll get you to pick a card. They're like, what the fuck is that smell? Sorry, man. Sometimes the cards let off a bit of a smell. It's the old tree, the oak.
That could be a book. When to let out the fart when you're roving. Tough question.
What you do is you do it as you leave a group, right? So you finish all your sets, then you're about to leave. You cut it real silent. Progress over to the next gig. By the time they smell it, you're already fucking gone. So they assume it's one of them. And you're already performing for the next group. You've crop dusted your way across to the next group, and you start doing your magic. Right?
What about this?
Mastermind.
You fart, and then immediately after light flash paper, which burns the gas in the air, and therefore should be no smell, right?
Well, sure, yeah. If you're gonna light it down here, you're like, all right, just gonna.
And then
you don't need flash paper anymore.
Trails back to the previous group that you were standing at.
Oh my God. Look, and on that note, we want to leave you with that wisdom. We want to thank Jack for coming on. All these links are in the description below. Keep an eye out for his amazing content. Jack, thanks for coming on.
I've got a gift for you guys. I've got a gift for you before we finish. Can I just quickly... I've got something to show you. Because ever since I've followed the podcast, your logo has driven me mental. Like, you've got the great cartoon of Josh and Jason, and then Doug is just like a photo slapped on the front.
Like, this is true.
Paid extra for that.
So, as an artist myself, I thought I'd try and it bothered me so much. I thought I'd try and correct it. So, I've done in the same style as Josh and Jason a cartoon of Doug, and I hope you like it.
Oh, wow. You know what? Actually, can we use that?
That's a joke. I actually did a proper version.
Much gooder.
Oh, hey!
Wow. I love it.
That's amazing. I think the first one was better, though, if I'm honest. The first one was much
just
better.
Go with that one.
That's perfect. That's right. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Jack, that's so cool, man. Thank you very much.
Right, you got a sick set of skills on you there, man. That's amazing.
Thank you very much. There you go. Your logo problem is solved now.
It is.
I love it. We need guests like you to come on and fix our stuff, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Guys, thanks for watching The Magic Guys. We'll see you next time. Follow Jack.
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.